When a maniac obsessed with ecosystems crashes headfirst into the most sensitive industrial poker game on the planet, you know you're not watching a simple business story. You are watching a high-stakes gamble involving survival, unchecked ambition, and the lethal minefield of geopolitics. Every step could be the last. Hello everyone, let's talk about a story that is pure magical realism. You know the protagonist, the man who has been building cars on American soil using nothing but PowerPoint slides and nostalgia for nearly a decade. The man who keeps his investors awake at night and his creditors staring hopelessly at the horizon. The man whose slogan evolved from "I'll be back next week" to "I will disrupt the future." Yes, I'm talking about Jiayu Tang, JIT, and his roller coaster of a company, Faraday Future, or FF. Recently, FF dropped a bombshell. No, it's not another financing round. It's not another delay. It's not even an internal coup. Believe it or not, they actually announced a second car. Surprise! Shocking, right? Now, hold your horses, put down the champagne, let's dissect this. Those 10,000 orders, the deposit is $100, fully refundable. Let me translate that into human language for you. Hey buddy, come save a spot in line, it's just $100. If you get bored, take your money and leave. The value of these orders? If you know, you know. Let's not forget FF's previous flagship, the ill-fated FF91. After burning through astronomical amounts of cash over N years, do you know how many they actually delivered? Less than 20. They claim 400 orders, but the conversion rate is tragic. So these 10,000 orders? Treat it like a circus act. Don't take it seriously. If you do, you've already lost. But here is the real question. How does a company that struggles to mass produce a single car, a company perpetually teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, suddenly conjure up a second model and promise delivery by the end of the year? Did Jiayu Tang unlock some alien technology? Did he find the cheat code? The answer is simple. He finally gave up. He stopped banging his head against the wall and decided to stand on the shoulders of giants. Or, to put it more bluntly, he decided to reshell. The evidence? It's the elephant in the room. Sharp-eyed netizens and industry veterans spotted it instantly. This FX Super One, why does it look exactly like the Wei Gaosan, the high-end MPV from China's Great Wall Motor? I don't mean they're cousins, I mean they're identical twins separated by birth. The boxy body lines, the unforgettable taillights, the similarity is over 90%. The only significant difference? The FF Super One slapped a gigantic screen on the dashboard. It looks big enough to be a billboard in Times Square. Other than that, it's a copy-paste job. Even the mother wouldn't be able to tell them apart. Now, neither FF nor Great Wall have ever publicly admitted to any deal, but everyone in the industry knows what's happening. It's not plagiarism. Plagiarism takes too long. It's a marriage of convenience. Here's the deal. FF provides the brand, even if that brand is practically a liability in North America. They provide the design tweaks, that big screen, the US assembly plant, and the ticket to the US market. Great Wall provides the mature, mass-produced platform, the supply chain, the chassis, the battery, the motor, basically all the hard, expensive stuff. The genius of this operation lies in one thing. FF finally lowered its arrogant head and accepted a cold reality. The king of the global EV supply chain is not in Silicon Valley. It's not in FF's PowerPoints. It is in China. Why did the FF91 fail? Because Jiayu Tang tried to build a car in the US without the Chinese supply chain. The result? Exploding costs, zero quality control, and total failure. But now, this FX Super One grafts itself onto China's efficient manufacturing machine. FF does a little plastic surgery, screws the parts together in the US, and voila, an American-made luxury MPV. Faster, cheaper, safer. Jia Tang finally found the back door. So, what's in it for Great Wall? Well, they want the American market. But ladies and gentlemen, for a Chinese EV, the US market is currently a hell mode dungeon. Why? Tariffs. Brutal ones. By 2025, the US will slap a tariff of over 120% on Chinese EVs. A $40,000 car becomes a $90,000 brick upon arrival. Zero competitiveness. And the regulations, the ICTS rules, they're a firewall designed to keep Chinese smart tech out. So how do they break through? FF and Great Wall are playing a game of golden cicada sheds its shell. It's called the SKD model, semi-knocked down assembly. You do the heavy lifting in China, welding, painting, where it's cheap. Then you disassemble it. You ship the body, the chassis, the battery, and the seats as auto parts, not a car, parts. By doing this, you dodge that terrifying 120% vehicle tariff. Sometimes, just to be safe, they might wash the origin through a third country like Mexico. Then, inside FF's California factory, they snap these Lego bricks back together. They stick on an FF logo, add that giant screen, localize the software to bypass the ICTS ban, and boom. You have a car that says Made in USA, priced at $80,000, bypassing all the trade barriers. It sounds like a genius commercial loop, a perfect symbiotic parasite. But, and this is a massive but, this model is walking a tightrope over a pit of spikes. It is a high-risk gamble that is destined to be short-lived. Why? Because the nail that sticks out gets hammered. If FF succeeds, if the sales go up, do you think US regulators and politicians are blind? The US vigilance against the Chinese EV industry is total warfare right now. It's as intense as the chip war. Even if you wash the car, change its vest, and call it American, they will put it under a microscope. FF is acting as a white glove, a proxy, but the US government isn't stupid. They can launch an investigation in minutes. How much of this American car is actually American? Is your factory just a screwdriver shop? If they find out the core tech is all made in China, FF's white gloves will be stripped off. They could face massive fines, the cooperation will implode, and FF will be buried. This model is fragile. It cannot be copied. If every Chinese car maker tries this loophole, the loophole will be welded shut overnight. The iron fist of policy doesn't care about your clever business plan. So, to wrap this up, YT Jia has found a shortcut. He is using the tariff magic of SKD to make one last bet in North America, $80,000, 10,000 refundable orders. It looks like a fight for survival, but the fatal flaw isn't the technology. It's not the product. It is the massive uncertainty of geopolitics. He is walking on a wire. Below him is not a safety net, but a political abyss. A shift in the wind, a new policy, a competitor's report, and the whole house of cards collapses. FF knows this. That's why they're so quiet about the deal. YT Jia's dream, from the PPT days to the FX Super One, it has been a decade of magic, controversy, and near-death experiences. He is dancing on the blade of a knife. He is betting on the market, yes, but mostly he is betting on how long it takes for the regulatory hammer to fall. So, as we watch this drama unfold, one cannot help but sigh. The North American dream, still out of reach. A brand new face, a deceptive speech. Middle Eastern money to stop the bleed, injecting water into orders, planting the seed. The tariff walls are built sky high, so they ship the parts and let them fly. In a California plant, the screws turn tight, while the regulator watches, ready to bite. 10 years of slumber, a story of lies, a reflection in the water before it dies. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.